Probably the most impact I ever had from playing Cagney was because of the alcoholism. The drunk Cagney that Barney very cleverly stretched out over all the years. You see in a couple of shows that I won't even mention, where one of the leads decides she's alcoholic, and in that episode she's cured. It's bull. You know, we had the benefit, thank God, of the luxury of longevity. And Cagney was always a drinker, but she was a fun drinker.
I think Sharon's point is a valid one, is that we were able to deal with the early stages of alcoholism, the familial aspects that of a child of an alcoholic.
Social drinker.
And social drinking. And then one thing, but ultimately we kept working on it, where it kept happening, and we began to see where it was going. And I used to have an annual meeting at my home at the end of a season for the writing staff.
Barney knew that I never wanted to play a victim. I never wanted Cagney to be a victim. He said, "You'll never get an Emmy if you don't." I said, "I don't care. I don't want her to be a victim. You know, she's strong. She hides her feelings, and Mary Beth was more emotional. You know, I had done an interview with Gordon McRae's daughter. Meredith McRae. She was an interviewer, and she spent like 3 hours with me up in Cagney's loft. And we were through with the interview, and she said, "You know that you have all the attributes of the adult child of an alcoholic. I mean, Cagney does." And I said, "No, I didn't realize that." And she said, "Well, you hide your feelings, and you know you're totally committed to life. You can't make a commitment to anybody, and you're married to your work, and it's just layer after layer of hiding." And I said, "I didn't realize that." So I go to Barney. I said, "Barney, did you know that Chris Cagney has all the attributes of the adult child of an alcoholic?" He said, "Honey, you're playing it." Do you remember that? You're playing it. And Charlie Cagney was an alcoholic, but even he was fun, you know. But and so, wait, let me tell you. So he said, "Sharon, do you want to go somewhere with this?" I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "You've forbidden me to ever make Cagney ever a victim. Except taking a bullet in the chest or something, but you know." And I said, "Well, I don't know. Sure, let's look into that." And then, but he was nice enough to ask my permission. How deep do you want to go with it?
Yeah, before that, the guy who played her father was an Irish cop, retired cop, who drank a lot. And he was a fun character. We used him for jokes. It was a stereotypical, superficial piece of writing that we'd come up with. And at one point, my grandmother had come to live with my parents and was really destroying the household. An old lady who was just incontinent, and it was an awful experience for my father. And my mother just felt she had to do it. So it was her mother. And I wanted to show some of that in our series. I wanted to talk about the duty of an adult child to their adult parent. And so we wanted to have something happen to him. And we decided we didn't want him to have cancer. We were trying to figure out what he could have. And I said one day, "Well, he drinks a lot." So we decided we'd make him an alcoholic. We would take this joking character, he wasn't. We didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
He was just a character we used for jokes. But now we were going to make it more serious. When that happened, things began to change, and there were several incidents along the way. And Sharon's being a very important one, the one she told about. So at the end of the year, at the end of a couple of years of this, at the end of every year, I had these meetings, and I had the writing staff gathered around the table. And usually we talked about the character arc for the next year, and were the Lacey's going to have a baby, and was Cagney going to have a new boyfriend, and were the Lacey's going to move, or were they not going to move, things like that. And that was the kind of conversations we had. This time it was different. I began the meeting by saying, "Let me tell you the last line of dialogue in the last scene of the last episode of next year." Well, they got everybody's attention. And I said, "It'll be a two-shot of Sharon, Gless, and Tyne Daly. We don't know where they are. And the camera will slowly pull back as Sharon stands up to reveal we're in a meeting, and she says, 'My name is Christine, and I'm an alcoholic.'" Well, the writing staff broke into applause. And then I said, your job,
about time.
Your job is to get me there. You got 22 episodes to get me to that moment. So that's how that happened.